Okay, Arlo, let's get this linked to your mama. Coffee. Alright, Arlo. Ready, buddy? You ready? Are you ready? You remember, guy? That's a good boy. Yeah, that's a good boy. Okay, welcome to the live stream. Today we have Arlo. He is a Lhasa Apso. It might be mixed with something else. I'm not 100% sure. This is my first time working with him. And Arlo is going to be getting a fun new haircut that I've never tried before. It's a Growlithe Pokémon haircut. So we're going to give him a nice big long mohawk, but kind of skinny. Try to leave a little bit of fluff on his chest. They're going to do a modified Growlithe. They want the mohawk to go all the way down his back, and then a big fluffy tail. If you don't know me, my name's AJ. I've been a pet groomer for 15 years, and I've actually been working with dogs since I was about 8 years old. I was earning money in my mom's pet salon, bathing dogs. If I wanted an allowance, that's how I got it. So I've been working with dogs for a long time, and I'm going to show you how I will groom this dog. The first thing that I'm going to do is actually going to be his nails. So we're going to try something new today. I'm going to try turning on this camera that's on the table. This is a brand new experiment, so if it's weird and it doesn't work, I'm sorry. But that's what's happening today. Here we go. We are on the table. And I'm going to try to cut his nails in a way that you guys can see it. Hey, buddy. Can you see your nails? So when I'm cutting nails, I flip the foot upside down and I look at the nail to see how much I can cut off for the very first cut. Arlo's nails are very short. I was actually only able to take off a tiny bit before I am pretty much at the blood supply on that first nail. This nail I've got a little bit more. I can actually see the pulp. Pulp is a white flaky substance, and once the pulp turns into a dark moist circle like that, then this nail is close to the blood supply, and if I cut any shorter, I risk making him bleed. I need to raise this table up a little bit. I'm bending over unnecessarily. Hang on, big guy. Let's finish your nails. Good job, buddy. That's a good boy. And it seems like he's wearing his outside nails down a little bit faster than his inside. And it's very common to see uneven wear between the outside two nails and the inside two nails. There we go. Okay, now that foot's all done, we're just going to repeat the process for the other 3 feet. Probably get a teeny bit more, but this one's close. Yeah, there we go. So I make the first cut, and I see nothing but white pulp. And then I keep making small cuts until I start to see that blood supply or the moist pulp start showing in the center. And once I have a good solid circle of moist pulp, then I'm done. Wait, hang on, Arlo. I know, but you're being a good boy. So the fun part of Arlo's haircut, where we're actually going to turn him into a Pokemon, is not going to happen until near the end, after he's had a bath and he's dried. Because of the length of his hair, I don't need to actually take off the majority of it before the bath. So I won't be doing too much that way. We're just going to do some basic rough-in stuff, and then we're going to head him back to give him a bath. Okay, 2 nails down, 2 more to go. Come on. There we go. Okay, 1 more foot. And that's a good example of the nice moist circle in the nail pulp. There we go. Looks good. And 1 more dew claw, and then we'll be all done with his nails. Okay. Alright, and now we're done with Arlo's nails. Next step that we're going to do is to shave his pads. We're going to keep you on the table cam. Now I'll try to show you shaving pads as well from here. Arlo's a really good boy. Wouldn't always be able to do this. So there's a V-shaped little crevice between the main paw pad and the toe pads, and that's where I'm shaving. Now I did shave the hairs that are on the surface of the pads, but I didn't shave between them. I don't want to come in between because I risk cutting the skin that connects these toes together. That foot's all done. We'll go ahead and grab his next one. Okay, that one's all done too. Go ahead and move up to the front feet. That one looks good too. I got one more foot, and then his pads will be all done. Okay, you get a teeny bit right here, and we'll call that pad good as well. Alright, next spot that we're going to do is the sanitary. I think you'll be able to see his sanitary. Let's scoot back. I'm going to lift his legs up, and we're going to shave this whole area around his privates. Give him a nice little potty path so that he doesn't pee on his fur when he's going to the bathroom. And we'll come all the way down into his groin down here. Make sure that there's no hairs here that can get matted. This is a really common place where mats will form if the hair is left. Okay, Sandy looks good. Now we'll shave his bump. And I'm just going to shave off any crusties that are on here. That way hopefully I don't have to scrub them off if I could just shave them off. Okay, that looks good too. I'm going to grab a different blade. And I'm going to shave the insides of his ears. Let's see, come around. You guys can't quite see the insides of his ears. Let's see if we can just adjust this a little bit. Okay. Now I shave the inside of his ears so that the surface of the ear canal doesn't have hairs blocking it. That allows light and air to get inside of the ear canal, which helps prevent yeast infections. And Arlo doesn't have any hair in his ear, But if he did, we would pluck the hairs out of the ear canal itself. And shaving the outside helps prevent me from accidentally plucking hairs that were on the surface that could be shaved, because I only would want to pluck hairs that are growing inside of the ear canal. Okay, and with that, we are done with our ruffin. I am going to take off a little bit. I'm scared to start shaving. Yeah, we're just going to give him a bath now. So let's go ahead and turn this off. Yeah, now we're going to head to the back and give Arlo a bath. So give me just a moment to get the camera on and back, and then we will we'll start bathing. Man, Arlo is such a good boy. I'm really happy to be working on him. He's a sweetheart. He did so good for those first steps. Some dogs have a hard time with that. Okay, baby camera's on. Let's head back there. Just going to consult my notes real quick. And it looks like we're just going to stick with the oatmeal shampoo. So I have this bathing system, and it mixes the shampoo in the water for me, but it requires high pressure water in order to do that. So I'll only use this system on his body, legs, and tail. I won't use it on his face because I don't want to risk high pressure water getting in his eyes, nose, and ears. So I'm going to get started by warming up the water first. I'm going to turn on the bathing system, and then I'm going to express his anal glands. This is an external anal gland expression. So I'm not going in his rectum, I'm only squeezing just below and on the outside. I'm finding the glands, lifting them up, and then applying a little bit of pressure towards his bum, towards the outside. And then I just hold that pressure until they express. I don't have to squeeze too hard, and the dog kind of does a lot of the work for you. They express normally, not a lot of fluid, normal amount, and so yeah, we're gonna go ahead and give him a bath now. Okay, his body's all washed off. I'm gonna turn the system off, clear the soap out of the lines. Turn the water pressure way down, and I'm gonna get his head wet, trying to avoid getting water in his nose and in his ears. And then I'm gonna wash his face by hand. As I'm lathering up his face and his ears, anytime I encounter a patch of fur that doesn't lather up well, I'll add more soap until it does. Because that good lather is how I actually know that he's clean. And he's trying to lick his lips a little bit, but I've got soap all over them. So I'm trying to keep his mouth closed so that he doesn't lick up the soap. And now that his muzzle is about clean, I'm gonna grab this and rinse it off first so that I can let go and let him lick. And that way he won't be licking up soap. Okay. Oh goodness. Good boy. All right, now I'm gonna rinse out his eyes. I don't think I got any soap in there, but just in case, I'm gonna make sure to rinse out his eyes to ensure that no soap is left in there. And then I'll pin down one of his ears, rinse off one side of his head, and then I'll repeat the same thing on the other side. Okay, now that his head's rinsed off, I'm going to rinse off the rest of his body, starting with under the leash to make sure that no soap gets trapped under there. We are done bathing and rinsing. I'm going to now squeeze out all the excess water and do one final check for any soap that's left on his body. If I feel anything slippery or sudsy, I'll check my hands for bubbles. And if I see any bubbles, then I'll rinse off that spot again. Okay. He feels good. Go ahead and grab a towel. And we'll take him over to this drying table. Now I'm going to use the towel to get off as much of this water as I can on his body. The towel does a great job of getting a lot of water off really quickly, but it's limited on how much it can actually get off. So once it's absorbed everything it can, I'll blow dry him next. Okay. All right, we've gotten all the water off that we can. Oh boy. I'll toss that in the washing machine, and I'm gonna hook him up to this leash. I'll turn this dryer on for just a second. Trying to get the hair off of my fingers so that I can put in these earbuds and be able to wipe off any hair that's on them. In the past, these earbuds were my only form of hearing protection, but I've now gotten these earmuffs, and doubling up like this is nice, as well as I can actually hear my music a lot better. And for the dogs, I give them hearing protection in the form of cotton ball earplugs. These blow dryers are extremely loud, and chronic or extended exposure to the noise that they produce can definitely be damaging to hearing. So, blow drying is the scariest part of dog grooming. This is my first time with Arlo. He's been fantastic for everything so far, so I imagine he'll do great for this too. But I'm gonna try to do the dryer on high, but I don't want high velocity air to get on his face, his eyes, nose, and ears. The same thing is with the tub. So I'll blow dry his body, legs, tail, feet on high, and then I'll turn the dryer down to low. But even at low speed, it still comes out of this nozzle at very high velocity. So I will have the dryer far away unless I'm confident that he's gonna hold still, at which point I will bring it close to his skin to get him dry as quick as possible. Let's get started. Okay. Arlo did fantastic once again. Absolutely a wonderful dog. So let's head back up front and we'll start giving him his haircut. Okay. Let's get Arlo. Come here, buddy. That's a good boy. Come here, big guy. Alright, now I'm going to consult the picture once again. Make sure I get this haircut as close as I can. His muzzle's pretty short. He's got a little bit of some cheeky stuff around the jaw, pretty tight around the eyebrows, and then the mohawk starts a little ways back between the eyebrows. It's about right here. And the ears are a little shorter too, but not too short. Okay. So I'm going to start with his face. We're using a number 7 blade. Let's see. Should I? We'll go ahead and throw in the table cam. We'll see if we can't get a few shots with it as well. Just turn it a little bit. Okay. So let's start. We're going to shave his muzzle. Let's see, let's make one adjustment. And then, let's see. So his chin's going to come out from here, and his chest is also going to be kind of long. So we're going to save all of this. So I'll do a little bit over his eyebrows. I'm going to slowly piece this together. And the mohawk's pretty skinny, comes past the eyes. I think it might even start a tiny bit more back than this. But kind of like that spot. Now I'm gonna comb all the hair over to the side. And start setting the line coming back. I think it's going to be a little skinnier, but I'm going to match this side before finalizing the width. Okay, now I can see both sides of the mohawk. And if this was standing up, it's actually really close to where it needs to be. So I just need to clean up the lines on his left side. Do the same thing over here. This is going to be fun. I'm excited. Okay. I'm thinking that might be good on the width. Because once they're going to spike it up. with some gel or hairspray or something. And once it's up, I think that's actually going to be pretty close to what the width should be. Okay, now that the mohawk line is mostly set, I'm going to come down and do his little chest fluff. Which seems to come right from like right here, and it comes around. I'll have to trim this, come back. So this is going to come around to about here. We'll start a little wider than I think it'll be. It kind of comes around like this. Legs are nice and short. I need to back brush them. Come on, buddy. And I've got to get this to come under his chin. Yes, we've got nice line right here. All this stays fluffy. Something like that. Try to match it on this side. Okay. I'm using this little Pokemon as my guides for this chest piece. Kind of coming together. It comes together between the front legs. So right here. Lay it down. Okay, go under his legs. I would be explaining my process a little bit more, but I am figuring this out as I go because I've never done this haircut before. Right now I'm shaving his belly. His belly all is going to be short, And I'm just kind of guessing underneath the legs somewhere is where it would, that little front mane would stop. So that's where I put it. Blade's a little dry. Grab a different number 7. Maybe just a little too wide still. Stay. Stay. Hold still. Okay, that part seems right. So he had a mohawk previously, but it was thicker than they wanted. So what I'm doing right now is I am matching the old lines, and then I will bring them in a little bit tighter after I've got the old line set and the rest of his body shaved on this side. I'll actually set the lines on both sides and then bring them in one really close to each other. So I'll do this side and then I'll do this side, and I won't do all of one side and then all of the other, because that's a really easy way to make it shift to one direction or the other. Up, 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 up. Gonna double check that there's nothing on the back legs that I'm about to screw up. Oh, there is. On some of them. Some of them there isn't. I'm gonna go with the picture that they sent me, and I don't see anything on the back legs. Okay. The original Growlithe, some of the Growlithes, maybe it's some of the evolutions, had some tufts on the bottom of the back legs. buddy. I know. Okay, buddy. We got some more work to do. Alright, so I'm going to shave the rest of his legs now. Stay up. Arlo wants to sit right now, and I'm trying to hold my hand under his hips to keep him standing, but I need to lift his tail to get under his bum, and he kept sitting on me, but now he's doing good. Good boy, Arlo. Do some back brushing. Back brushing fluffs all the hairs up so that none of them are laying down and trapped, or laying down and then the clipper doesn't cut them evenly with the rest of the fur. I fluff them up so that they all stick up and then they get cut evenly. Okay, now I'm gonna match the old mohawk lines. Just gonna shave down along them. Up, up, good boy. 6. Stay up. Okay, Arlo. Okay. Okay, let's do your belly. Check my temperature real quick. It's starting to get a little warm. Stay, Arlo. Hi, buddy. You my friend? Yeah, you're such a sweet boy. Oh, goodness. What a sweetheart. Okay, I can work on the mohawk right here. What I want to make sure is that his spine is straight as I'm making these cuts. If he twists his back, it might look like it's a straight line to me, and then when he actually straightens out his neck or his back, all of a sudden it's not straight anymore. Stay. All it's done. coming together. Like the first half looks pretty good. Much thinner mohawk. We'll just keep it going, keep it coming down. Okay. Okay. Alright, I'm going to shave his belly now. Oh, actually, let's change my 7th. This one's a tiny bit warm. To shave the belly or the inside of the back legs. It's a little, just a little too warm for my comfort. Arlo. Oh, good boy. Wait, stay. Okay. Stay. Okay. Approach this leg over here. Okay, I think we're ready to start scissoring. And this will be interesting. Figure out how to scissor his face, ears. I'm gonna start with his ears because I know what I want them to look like. I want them to just be a little fluffy and close to the leather itself. Take the cotton balls out of his ears. They're pretty clean. I will reuse them for when I'm actually cleaning his ears. Okay, so the ears are distinctly separate from the face. So I need to tighten this up a little bit. And I need to separate the ears. My next customer might be dropping off a little before I finish Arlo's haircut. So if he shows up, I will be just muting the volume for a few minutes while I check in the next dog. Get your feet done. Okay, now I'm going to trim his feet. I'm going to start with the bottom, back brushing all the hair to the bottom and trimming everything that comes past his pads. Then I'll come to the top, and I'll back brush and round the outside of the foot and the top of the foot. And I'll back brush. I'm just going to get this nice and tight. I'm going to pull up all the hairs that are underneath the toenails, trim them really tight. Come back up top. See what looks long now that I've made those cuts. And Arlo's owner wanted him to not get Grinch feet for as long as possible, which means I'm going to trim the hairs that are growing between the toes. This does create a different look. It separates the toes from each other instead of looking like one unified foot. You can see the individual toes. So it is a different look. It's not for everybody, but they were wanting to make sure that he doesn't have Grinch feet for as long as possible, so that's why I'm doing this now. He does have a few long hairs around his toes still. Just want to get those even. Okay. I think I like how that looks. Now I'm going to do the back of his leg, and I'm going to trim up all the hairs that look like they're longer than the rest of his leg. Coming up into the armpit, there's quite a few in here. I'm going to turn off the auto director. I'll just leave you on this camera for right now. It looks like my next customer is here, so I will be pausing in just a moment. Okay. Next pup is here, and we're just gonna keep working. Arlo wants to go say hi. He might be a little wiggly for me now. We'll see. Trim up his bottom of his feet. Everything that comes past the pads gets cut. Come to the top. Round to the top and the outside. Actually, before I do that, I'm gonna come underneath and really make sure that I get all the hairs that are underneath the toenails. Get them trimmed really good. Again, trimming the hairs under the toenails like this can create a look that separates the toes. So if you don't like that look, then you wouldn't want to do this part as tight. You want to leave a little bit more space. See, now you can see underneath the toes, and that forces me to have to tighten the top of the foot to match it. Okay, buddy. Almost there, Arlo. Okay. This side is longer. Wait. Sorry, you guys can't see what I'm doing. I was trimming up these hairs right here, pulling them down, matching it to this right side. Okay. This is very different. I don't know. They want some of this mohawk hair trimmed up. I better ask. Okay. Let's keep going on feet. I'll flip this one over. Back brush. Trim all the hair on the bottom. Pull up the hairs between the toes. Trim up underneath the toenails, nice and short. Okay, now I'll flip the foot back over. Back brush and round the top and the outside. And I'll start pulling up all the long hairs between the toes. Hang on, Arlo. I know, buddy. I know. Hey, bud. I gotcha. We're getting close. Okay, that foot looks pretty good. Now I'm going to back brush the leg. Catch any hairs that are long. Sorry for the panting. That's Phoenix. He's my next pup. He's a nervous little guy. Kind of a big guy. He's an Australian Shepherd. Beautiful eyes, big beautiful coat. Okay, can I see your armpit? I pinch and roll the skin in the armpit to expose all these long hairs. Check this side, same thing. Looks pretty good. And now I'm seeing a little bit of hair on the inside of this leg. Stay. Stay, Arlo. Hang on, buddy. Hang on. Okay. That leg and foot look good. Now let's hop on to the last one. Up, up. Up. Good boy. Good boy. Start at the bottom. Back brush. Trim all these hairs that come below the foot. Then I'll come to the top of the foot. I'll back brush and round the outside and the top. Oh, I forgot to get between the toes. So this is, in order to get the feet really tight, I'm pulling up the hairs that grow underneath the toes, and I'm trimming everything really close underneath the toenails. Now this does make things look different when I put the foot down, and it forces me to trim much more off of the top of the foot in order to match it. And that helps me create a tighter foot where I can trim all the hairs between the toes to get rid of the Grinch feet look as it grows out. Now I can back brush all this, trim it all up nice and tight. I can pull the hairs between the toes up, trim them so that they're even, so that I don't have any really long spots. Hi. Thank you. You're a good boy, Arlo. Yes, you are. Such a sweetheart. I got lucky with this guy. Okay, toes are nice and tight. I'm going to stand him up and I'm going to back brush all the hair around his leg to see what spots are still long, trim them up, and then we'll just be doing the final touches. Stand him up, brush the inside of his leg, trim the hairs from this direction. There's just hairs stuck on his weenie. A couple more that are just a tad long. Okay, I'd say his legs look good. Let's check back. It looks like she wants the mohawk trimmed up just a little bit, but not too much. So I'm gonna actually leave, I think I'm gonna leave it on top of his head because that's where it's supposed to be the longest. Just run a brush over it. It feels like there's a couple tangles. Okay, now I'm going to comb the hairs up, and I'm just going to trim the longest hairs, trying to keep it pretty even. There's a little too much right here. Need to shape that a little better. Okay. Okay, I think the mohawk looks good. Just gonna come down to his tail, brush out his tail. Sit forward a little bit, buddy. Actually gonna spray it with some leave-in conditioner. And then brush it out. And this is it's a detangling conditioner that I just sprayed in there. Oh boy. And his tail is supposed to be fluffy for this haircut. So I'm mostly just going to be shaping it up. Hang on, buddy. Stay here. Trimming any hairs that are obviously out of place and too long. I just saw a spot in his armpit. Sorry. They keep clearing my throat right in your guys' ear. Come here, Arlo. Stand up, buddy. Stay here. It's okay. So I'm going to trim around his bum to give him a potty path. That way he doesn't, go to the bathroom and get poop in his tail. And then I'm just going to lightly shape the outside so it's a nice big bushy tail. I think there's actually too much bush over here. Gotta shave a little bit more. I don't know. We're almost there, buddy. I know. It's taking a long time. Hold still. Come here, buddy. Almost done, I promise. Stay. Come on, Arlo. Go ahead and sit down. Right there. Okay, there we go. Now it's more even all the way down. His butt, right above his butt, it was a little bushier than the rest of his tail was, or the rest of his mohawk was. I'm just gonna trim this. And I'm gonna trim this side just a pinch. I just want it to stay clean. So all these hairs that are eventually going to grow underneath the tail, I'm going to get them short. Okay. All right, so we are about done. This is the first attempt at the Growlithe haircut. Definitely needs some gel in his hair to complete it. But he's got a big tall mohawk as soon as he gets some gel in here. And fluffy chest, fluffy tail, and these little cheek things. So, kind of like a Growlithe, but we need this to stand all the way up, and then it would look a lot like it. There's the photo. You're a good boy, Arlo. I'm gonna go ahead and clean Arlo's ears, and after I message his mom that he's ready to be picked up. His ears are really clean, almost nothing in there. Let's see if he shakes his head for me. You shake? I like when the dogs do this because it fluffs all the hairs up and it gives me one last opportunity to trim things up a little bit tighter and cleaner. Okay, see if I can get a photo. Can you sit? Sit. That's kind of cute. Okay, that's the end of this live stream. The next one is going to be with Phoenix, this Aussie on the ground. It's going to be a bath brush and a tight trim up. So stick around if you want to watch that. And otherwise, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. And bye for now.